Hello everyone, welcome back to Baddy Overwatch League Season 8, Week 1, Match 3. I am X Dr. Eggman X, and I'm with K4 right now. This is
Hey guys.
HAREM versus uh, the other team, Thomas.
The other team, yeah.
Yes. And we're first here on Dorado. And who do you think is going to win this one, K4?
I was just saying earlier that I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about each team. Um, last year or last season, uh, Big Brain Ethos was the majority of them were the winning team, or in semifinals at least. So we know that. But Wacky's team,
Here is HAREM.
and Kieran's
Yes.
team, not Wacky's, obviously, is full of rookies. So we'll be waiting to see how they play because half of their team is rookies, more than half. It's an unknown. So I want to expect big things from the rookies, but we just never know.
Yeah, I'd definitely say with a team full of rookies, you never know. Somebody just might pop off and get a 5K every single team fight. I know Gluba's a very good Ana player. I know Cthulhu's been labbing that Team Fist.
So
Well,
expecting
let's
the
see.
5K from their Ana. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
we're
hearing.
expecting the Ana 5K here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do have the Torg, which does put a whole lot of damage. It makes it hard for Brian to do a lot because he just gets poked out so much.
Definitely. We're looking at two Zenyatas, two Anas fighting each other. Two Ryan Zaryas. A nice mirror. Nothing different is the DPS and the...
Yeah, I want to see the Doomfist try and go for Vizan. Should be a pretty easy pick for him.
Team's poking here. Zappa's getting dangerously low, but they're Wacky's anti. Gonna find that Fire Strike and finish off Wacky. Honestly, I think
It's just a,
Burns is pretty good here.
yeah.
I think
If there's no staggers, then that'll be a miracle. But
doesn't look
because
like
they staggered Mac like that, they just gave up first point, and the majority of this positioning because now Wacky and Ju-Man Info will have to back all the way up to spawn and wait for their team to get back.
would definitely say that both the Ana and Zens are putting out tremendous amounts of support for each team, but neither team has a Lucio. And in the Ryan Zarya mirror match, whichever team has a Lucio usually runs at the other team. And with no team running it, very interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah. So now we have the Pharah from Cthulhu.
Oh, and a nice
now-
shatter by Zappa. Picking up 5 people, I think. Everyone but the Pharah. I'd be a little worried if you're a shattered Pharah, but
Yeah.
looks like they're
No,
going
that would be a ground Pharah for the win.
Ground Pharah, yeah. Hear your gameplay.
Yes. But I don't know if the Pharah pick is a good one because there's no mercy, so he has to play very safe. It's just like a worse Junkrat at this point.
Yeah, I definitely say Junkrat offers a lot more spammability, a lot more utility to the
Oh
team.
wow. Wacky just got absolutely destroyed there. He fell over.
And that looks like it's going to be the team fight for HAREM. That
They
looks
just rolled right
good.
on through. Like almost nothing from the defense. They just fell over a few times and took a while to regroup, and well, now they're on the last point.
Yeah, they're definitely backing up each team fight instead of dying on the payload, giving them extra distance.
Yeah.
Because they keep backing up, they keep losing space.
This team fight, we need to watch Heron as he tries to get the Nano Blade in his grab. They don't have any. Oh, he used the grab right here.
Use it
Interesting.
super early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this next fight they won't have anything for the grab. They may get a High Noon to zone it. Or for the Nano Blades, they might have a High Noon to zone it, but other than that, they have to hope and pray that Brian doesn't do well. Never a good idea.
yeah. We're looking at Earthshatter and Deadeye as the only two ults the defense has. Heron's HAREM looking kind of rough here against a potential Nano Blade Shatter and Transcendence from Surbird if it's necessary. They got a lot of ults. It definitely look like Wacky's going to gain Earthshatter in this time period.
Yeah, we need to watch for a big shatter from Wacky.
Definitely.
Or a massive sleep dart from Gluba. Those would help shut it down and help win them the fight.
Trying top red again, which I definitely agree with. Trying to just get as far away from long lines of sight as possible.
I expect them to try and Nano Blade now. Many cooldowns are gone for the defense.
I think that shatter from... Ooh, Deadeye picks up 4.
That was big.
Nice shatter. Sending offense back into spawn.
Yeah,
They still have that Nano Blade on on standby though.
Yeah, they need to use it before G-Man gets his trance. Yeah, because it'll be big if they're able to, but if they're not, which is looking like they won't be able to before he builds it, then that's another thing for them to work up, to have to bait out.
Definitely say the Rein Zarya into another Rein Zarya. Both teams can get grabs super quickly, and grab is such a nice way to shut down Blade.
Yeah.
Especially if it's going for.
Cam's gonna have his now, and they'll have trance. Looks like the Nano Blade shouldn't be on the table anymore.
Here's Wacky just trying to poke for some ult charge, putting him up in the scatter.
There's the trance.
Nice response by Surbird. That Nano Blade got little to no value.
Just doing some cleanup.
If any.
Yeah, but this next fight, Wacky has another big shatter that he's looking for, and Sliced Bread has his grab. So those are the 2 win conditions. Now we just have to see who does it better. And a big pick to start with Ju-Man picking down Brian.
Sending that Genji back to spawn. That's 10 seconds off the clock, and that could mean a difference. Another team fight down, potentially.
Yeah, that'll give time for Joe and Cthulhu to build up their ults too.
Definitely. Now we're seeing a switch to Mei from Brian off the Genji. Very interesting. Maybe they're trying to wall off high ground. Mei's so good at controlling zones and controlling ranges. Zenyatta and Ana kind of struggle if they get blocked off from their tanks.
Yeah.
They can't support them anymore.
Looks like they're gonna go top right, push them off high ground. Or they're looking for a big grab.
Cthulhu set them close. They use Immortality Field. This could be huge for Haren's Harem. Looks like that Death Blossom from BSRK is just gonna pick up both tanks.
Now they just have to clean up the Ana and the Zen.
Glooba getting staggered.
Ju-Man hopefully doesn't want to get staggered, but BSRK is gonna be here.
I mean, Zen has no footsteps, so he could just
You're right, he could just Yo, look at the juke!
Yo, the massive juke. Massive juke. No footsteps. That's a little broken in my book. No Immortality Field for the...
Oh, Zappa has a massive shatter.
But
can anyone touch? No one touches!
Nobody touches. Ugh. Well, that was definitely something to the very end there.
Yeah, they kind of got rolled through the first part, but they finally stabilized near the end.
Yeah, they upped their game, upped their leapfrog game. I think that's a that's a good defense in my book.
Aside from, you know, the unfortunate C9, but it happens.
Yeah, it happens. You just gotta roll with that. Once that happens, just say go again. You know, as we all know, go again.
Go again, yes.
Go again.
A very common saying.
A very, very common saying. Another common saying. I hope to see Doomfist here on Dorado in particular. But K4, did you know that the bounce spots that Doomfist players typically use are actually illegal in Overwatch League?
No, I didn't, because I don't only play Doomfist. It's very, I know, it's a surprise, but I was not aware of that rule, so that's interesting.
It's definitely very painful when you can't do 125s onto people from high ground. Kind of expecting Cthulhu to try the Doomfist out here.
Honestly, I like most picks better than the Ferret. He's working off only a Zen orb for healing, and it's hard for him to get stuff done. I mean, Dano is on the Ana, so he can poke him down, and because he doesn't have a Mercy, it makes it really hard. Yeah, he might be able to get a boop off high ground. That would be big.
That would be big. That'd be massive. It looks like BSRK is gonna get caught out here.
Oh, he might be. Yeah, he's down.
Yeah, unfortunately,
a little too aggressive. Nice. He went for the boop and forced Zap off the high ground.
Like he's getting mace to the face.
Yeah.
But right now, a bunch of value here.
Yeah, right now, Haren's Harem should be doing well. Now, Wacky did just fall, but they're still equal footing.
I think Cthulhu's getting a lot of value on the
DSR
fair.
Arcade
Being
just got back from
uncontested.
spawn. Wacky will be back in a few seconds.
Definitely say here. Gotta watch out for Heron building grab super quickly.
Yeah, Cthulhu's almost, he's halfway to Barrage, which would be really big with the grab.
Grab barrage, almost always a team fight. It's the highest damaging ultimate combo in the game outside of whole hog and grab. Or, I mean,
That's big.
obviously.
The fight's kind of going out of control for the defense now because they can't trade. They have to win overwhelmingly, otherwise they'll slowly get forced back because they have worse spawns.
Definitely. Defense needs to take all that time to walk back. I'm looking at a nice rocket barrage.
Massive.
Heron's Harem pushes right through. Be surprised if they get stopped here.
Yeah, no. Slice Bread is pushing out here, but it would have been much better for him to back off and go with his team so that they could regroup. DSOK also got
barrage
staggered.
out of that, but maybe that wasn't worth it. Now that he's got to walk all the way back from spawn. Heron's playing really close here. He almost got Zappa there.
Yeah.
Maybe they can finish him off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
grab
that's big.
here.
That's big.
They might get the.
If they can clean up. Okay, they've cleaned up. That's big. That bought them another 15 seconds? 10 seconds?
Yeah, I'd say 15 seconds on this clock here. Now that defense needs to walk all the way back.
Yeah, they only have one person on payload. It's a Pharaoh, but
I mean, someone's got to do it.
someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
If it's a ground Pharaoh, why not?
And they can definitely hold their ground here with an Earth Shatter and Deadeye on the ready for Heron's Harem.
Ethos right now is almost up to Nanoblade, as well as they're both Tango. And you're looking for that massive shatter.
So, nice trance. Stops the grab from killing anybody. Shatter keeps everybody away as well.
Yeah.
What if this is a micro
They'll
turns
just,
Heron?
guys will just get staggered here, and that should be the point. They might get one last contest, but especially because there's only one person on the card right now.
Zap throws away. Earth Shatter.
Oh wow, they're pushing super aggro. And the Zarya and Genji still haven't regrouped to 15.
Yeah,
They'll be able to touch the payload, but they'll just die again.
Unless Slice Bright can make something crazy happen here, which he might actually have. No, unfortunately.
He did get one pick though. That's fine. But he now they've lost so much ground just because of that. They never regrouped here.
I definitely need to
They
keep
do.
their
Now they use
defense
Lamb,
together.
and they don't have anything for Nanoblade.
Victor and Ethot's making a nice comeback. Able to swing that last one around. Yeah, we see Nanoblade and Baptiste ult on the side of Ethot's, and on Heron's Harem we have Grab still and Rocket Barrage, another deadly combination.
They do also have Nano, so if someone does get doped by the Nanoblade, they may be able to wait it out using Lance and Nano.
Seeing a fire strike through the backfield. Glock
Big one.
for
Does Zappa get picked here? No, they use the immortality. Very big.
Dudes might be setting up for a. Nah, he's just gonna get picked off and die here.
Yeah.
Excellent play.
Lacking here should probably have just died right there. No, they're gonna get out? Wow. Yeah, I expected them to get pushed and just fall over and add another 10 seconds onto the 10 seconds off the time, but no.
We're looking at 2 minutes.
They still push forward ahead of their team. Their backline's finally caught up with them.
Them getting super low, dangerous low. Nice shatter.
Massive shadow. Oh, huge anti.
Barrage coming in.
They're just using everything.
Every
They're using
ball.
everything.
Both teams are using ultimate. We have Nano Farah. Heron's gonna die.
Yeah.
Cthulhu might be able to pick up BSRK, but he grabs a health kit, and it looks like Ethos is stabilized.
Yeah, that is very big for Ethos.
Very nice use of defensive
they all
abilities.
traded ults, but they somehow managed to get it with the Beyblade. It's been a long time since we've seen that combo.
the defensive ults working marvelously in their favor. Surbird's looking at another wall, the Baptiste wall.
Yeah,
Damage to that thing. destroyed Zenyatta with that last.
HAREM doesn't have a whole lot of ults to work with, but they do have the better positioning now as they went around right and took the high ground.
HAREM's just gonna bully Cerber in the back line. They might lose that Baptiste here. No immortality field.
No immortality.
Cerber dies
And
early here. Oh, yes, okay. This Deadeye just here to clean up.
And he gets charged out of the way, but you know, he won the fight. Doesn't matter. Yeah, slowly and steady, they're getting the payload there. There's one last fight. They need a big Shadow or a big Nano right now for HAREM, but Ethot still have the grab and the blade. Been waiting on the
Grab
blade
and
for a
wall
while.
inside of Ethot's. Zenyatta asleep on the high ground
Left, yes.
for HAREM. Not close for Trance. They can't be safe.
Yeah, it looks like Ethot right now just have to back up, regroup. Oh, they're going in.
They're going for it. They're ballsy. They're gonna pick up BSRK. They're gonna grab
big
it too.
grab. Oh, that was huge.
This blade might save it here for.
Blade,
Nope.
and there it goes. Like so
shut it
many
down?
we've seen before.
Definitely. Wow. And nice work on both sides. Excellent play.
I'm impressed with the cojones on this team who just they don't need a main tank. They just walk in and press Q and they win.
That nano boost, 50% less damage.
Yeah, you're right.
He's already life stealing. That's scary.
They already have a main tank. My bad.
Yeah. They did have the Zenyatta. Yeah, Zenyatta is a main tank after all. For all those in chat who didn't know.
And a flanker because he doesn't have footsteps.
Exactly, and you saw the leapfrog happening.
Yeah, we did that.
So if your Zenyatta's got that perk, and he's got the no footsteps, that's all you need to ask for on a main tank. Shields, what is that? I don't even know what a shield is.
Honestly, kind of broken.
Honestly, yeah.
Zen was the original Brig, a DPS, a tank, not a healer, no, a flanker.
Yeah. So he's in a very strange hybrid position, especially with being invincible during Transcendence, making him the best main tank in the game and the best Diva Bomb blocker in the game. Definitely a very strong hero, and we're seeing that a lot from the Juman foe. Really just playing leapfrog, destroying everybody.
You have to practice on Zen is your Diva Bomb rollout. So if you get bombed and you trance, you can roll out.
Fortunately, we're not going to see that
secret.
from either team.
Unfortunately, won't. There's no Diva. There's only Ryan Zarya.
Another boop. You gotta be booped off sliced bread.
And now they have to push down. They have to drop down, give up their good positioning.
BSRK looking on the flank. Only 60 seconds left for HAREM. They need to make a play here happen. Slice bread's gonna be dangerous low. Immortality field will come out.
This choke here is nasty, but they already did force out so many cooldowns from Ethot's.
Definitely Dan was looking dangerous. Cut off here from the rest of his team. If that Farrah can find him. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Glib again dangerously low. You can't afford to lose anybody on either team right now. Both teams are just trying to poke the best they can. Lucky playing very aggressively. Trying to bait out or maybe even kill BSRK. Nice bubble.
Down though.
Both
But they
teams
traded that for Dano.
No immortality field on the side of the defense, but a wall coming up. Gonna just destroy Wacky. Or this Farrah Cthulhu is uncontested right now. He's able to rain rockets down at a big brain Ethot's. Kills Zappa. Looks like he's getting pressured by the Genji.
HAREM should just win this because they had better spawns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Attack really loves just grinding down the defense because defense has to walk so
Brian
much
is
farther.
almost to Blade, so we could see a big Blade here. It would have to be for second point. They're not going to be able to recontest this.
They definitely need to, if they want to hold it here, they're definitely going to need to build either a Shatter, a Grab, or a Blade. Shatter coming out.
Both Shatters used. Nothing gained.
Nothing gained.
Big Barrage. Oh.
Another more ultimates coming out. Looks like they're going in for it. Blade gets to the Zen, and the McCree, and the Ana. And that's where defense holds it. Big Brain Ethot's shuts them out at the gate of the first point.
Yeah, that's very good considering the fact that they got pushed far back at the end of that first point. But they were able to regroup and all push forward. Additionally, with Cthulhu using his barrage and trading for no one. It was just very impressive. Complete wipe.
Complete wipe, and that's what you need on the side of the defense for the attack,
Yeah.
because attack has such short respawn times usually, and especially right after you capture that second point, attack spawns no less than, I'd say, 2 or 3 seconds from the payload or from their own team line, and within line of sight too.
Yeah. So long as Ethos doesn't get stuck at the choke here, they should have a pretty easy time with it. It's just this one choke that they have to get to, either by brute force or by rotating around on the left side in order to go around it. So it's very important that they make it through here. And once they do that, they're home free.
I was gonna say the biggest part about attacking on Dorado is making sure that they can't hold high ground, and most teams force the defense to jump off high ground. Heron's Harem might need to forfeit that, especially if the Big Brain Ethos either boops him down or force him down. Maybe the Reap can go up there to get rid of them on high ground.
Yeah, this is, just looking at the team compositions, this is very good for Heron's Harem. For Heron's Harem, because they have much more damage compared to Ethos, because they're running Brian on the Genji. So they really need value out of the Blade, which they haven't been getting all game.
Genji recently did get buffed. He's a little bit faster. Maybe the Heron's Harem is going to get caught off by that. I know I definitely would. Looks like we're going to see an interesting rotation for the offense.
Yeah, they're going to rotate to high ground. Take that.
VSRK and Cerberus opting to stay behind. VSRK going to push the payload probably.
Yeah, hopefully VSRK times his flank right while they're pushing here. Might be able to get a pick.
No May block. May dies early in the fight. Too promise for the defense. Nice pin by Wacky, but he'll trade his life for it. Both Reapers going at it.
They might continue this because they have Nano for their defense. And here they go.
Looks like Luba's going to use it on Heron. He's going to try to clean up here. He forgets that Luba's endangered himself.
Yeah.
The Reaper on Luba.
Oh, this has bought enough time for Wacky to come back onto the main tank. Zappa's
barely can't keep Heron alive.
But he did use charge, so that might be a good opportunity to pin.
And a grab, a nice quick grab by Sliced Bread. Looks like it's going to destroy both tanks of the defense. Can the DPS make anything happen here? I know for a fact that the Mail's going to be huge. It might stop them in their place.
They do have trance, so they don't have the damage to follow up.
And a grab from Spawn!
And a grab!
Catching him Zappa? Serper, Dano, and Brian, the only people able to touch point. The Transcendent's going to hold it out for them longest. Another Earth Shatter, but it's into the shield, and a Blade comes out.
It slept!
Blade slaps, Blade to sleep. Glibba sleeps the Blade. And now both tanks are anti for Grand Ethos, and looks like, wow. Is it enough? Heron goes down, Cthulhu on the Tracer, able to touch the point. Just 2 members alive for Big Brain Ethos, and Dano's looking dangerously low. Slice Bright trying to keep him alive, but he won't be able to. And it looks like they fall. Defense holds it.
Yeah.
Heron's Harem wins, map 1.
Yeah, it looked like they were bleeding ultimates there, but it brought them just enough time to have the rest of their team group up. And then the defending Spawn was just, they were able to make it back as a group, and the attack just, they bled players.
Yeah, and that grab from Spawn definitely caught Big Brain Ethos off guard. It's definitely incredible gameplay by Heron.
No one expects a grab from Spawn.
No one expects the grab from Spawn. Nobody expects grab, period. I would never even use grab in my own games personally, so just seeing one on the field is tremendous
When
value.
I think about what ultimates the enemy team has, grab is definitely the last one I think of.
Yeah, but we definitely can't sleep on the fact that Gluba slept a blading Genji and then antied 2 people to turn around that fight.
Antied the Rhine and the Reaper. Reaper couldn't sustain, they didn't have much heals left, so it has very big plays.
Reaper is the last
5-man that we were looking for at the beginning of the game, but it was big nonetheless.
Exactly. Reinhardt and Reaper are the 2 you definitely don't want to get antied. They make so much value off of being constantly healed. Reaper with the self-heal, Ryan with just everybody else. Once they're antied, if you don't have a bubble or a diva to eat that, it's looking pretty rough for both Reaper and Ryan. That was exactly the correct play for Gluba. Amazing work.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't get punished for it, though. There was too much emphasis on the Zarya, and no one is able to pick up on the opportunity Ana walking through your front line gives you.
Definitely. I'd be surprised if Ana didn't have footsteps either with the amount of sneakiness that's going on over there. Definitely looking at a Hanamura map here, as you can
First
see.
point again has a massive choke that no one likes, just like Dorado. They're almost the same map, but one's in, 2 CP.
Yeah,
Just,
similar to Paris, actually. An infinitely inferior map that needs to be removed from the game right now. Because, unfortunately, Hanamura has 2 opportunities to go through the choke. In fact, multiple. You can go up and around, to go through the window, go through the main, which is where most
Thankfully, it's
teams,
not
9
Paris.
times out of 10, go through. But, hey, I mean, at least there's options.
Yeah, there's options.
And what do you think
I'm
we're going to
wondering,
see here from Big
we
Brain Ethos?
could totally see Tim, just because it's, you know, every team, if they want to cheese it, they want to cheese their way to first point, you go Sim.
Definitely. If it's crunch time, then definitely for the
Crunch
sim
time.
if you're looking to cheese it. And looking like defense. Harem's
Yeah,
going to pull off the Torb May combo. And then on offense with Big Brain Ethos, we're just going to look at Reaper and Genji. Good old reliable.
good old reliable.
Good old reliable.
But I think the Torb is a very good pick here. It helps shut down the Genji, as I said earlier. But it also provides a very difficult target for the Genji, or for the tanks for that matter, to push into because he has overload. So it provides a lot of extra damage, and I'll be hoping to see Zappa's shield being broken almost instantly from the Mei right clicks as well as the Torb.
Definitely. Coming out of the gates, looking at Ryan Zarya mirror again. Zen on a mirror again.
That is a big anti. He's gonna have to back off now.
Yeah, definitely. Only one Zarya bubble to cleanse that. And like a pretty fast gain of Wacky Tobaki's Earth Shatter. Might see an early one here.
Another big nade.
Yeah, another big nade by Guga. Gonna snipe Cerber out of the sky with that one.
Yeah. The big brain Ethos will now have to play slow and wait for Cerber to come back.
Cerber's coming back in the Baptiste, but Wacky's getting caught off here with his pants down.
Yeah, Wacky and Heron are
Stays
getting
alive.
caught out.
That pin
They
kills
didn't
him.
trade for Zappa, but
Both tanks down. Looking pretty grim for Harem here.
Reaper on the point.
Oh, Reaper's gonna get another nice nade from Gluva, gonna shut down that Reaper.
Luckily, they have the Torb main tank still.
The Torb main tank and the Zenyatta main tank in case it comes to it.
Nano Zen.
As you can see, the Nano sleeping Zenyatta, really the play here. Can Zenyatta turn this around with his
Nano?
Nano?
Unfortunately not. After all, every tank still needs a team behind them.
And as the main tank, especially if you're Zenyatta and you're Nano, you get shot more than most other people because you got a big hitbox. But
Yeah, a
definitely
fat
good
crit
work.
box.
Fat hitbox.
His entire body is a crit box, so that is a downside to the Zen main tank. But Big Brain Ethos are coming up on the Nanoblade, and Terran will have the
Transcendence.
Transcendence, yes.
Yes.
But they also have the Mei and the Torb to zone off the Dragon.
Oh, Dragonblade comes out. It's gonna kill the Torb and Molten Core. It's gonna shut him down. And Mailed out comes out here. Immortality Field's gonna try to keep Zappa alive, but it's not gonna be enough. And it looks like Heron's Harem is gonna hold. 2-man forward, take it out. Maybe I ate my words too quickly. Everyone's already scattered by Wacky, and that looks like a pretty convincing halt to the attacker's push. Now,
That's a very good shatter, but Wacky probably should have kept it for the next fight because the defense has much better spawns. So since they were down 2, almost 3 people, it's a very risky play, and it didn't pay off.
definitely say that. Speaking of offense, Zarya, Rhine, Death Blossom, and Baptiste ult are all up. Yes, I do know Death Blossom is not a hero in this game, but looks like Big Brain Ethos is gonna have a bunch of ultimates to push into this one with. And Torb's there doing work, shutting down Brian on the flank. He's shutting down the turret. Nice grab. Another nice shatter. Everyone's using abilities. Everybody's pressing Qs. Looks like Big Brain Ethos losing that rather quickly. Zappa not getting anybody with the pin. But Slice Bread's probably going to make it out. And definitely out with high charge. It's the one thing you want to do on Zarya. If you know your team fight's going south and you see Death's Door coming, turn around and just hightail it out of there. Slice Bread with a nice play, keeps his charge alive.
Right now, what I'm looking for on for Ethos to do well is I think they should actually use the nano on Zappa so he can swing into the grab, and he might be able to get a few kills with that. But it would build up his shadow for the final skirmish on point.
Nice anti-nade's gonna hit Wacky. It's gonna get cleansed and bubbled. Cthulhu is looking to set up a wall, a nice wall on Zappa, keeping him out from his team. Immortality Field's gonna come out for Big Brain Ethos. Earth Shredder gets nobody for Wacky. He gets pinned by the other Brian. Zappa gonna take him out. Brian looking at the back line, uncontested, gonna deflect some of that Molten Core right back at him. Torball taking down Torb Turret. You never want to see that happen in the family. Harem on point by himself. Surbird raining down bullets from afar, and Gluba and Juman 4 cannot see their Zarya to keep her super alive. Juman 4 gonna take out the trance, gonna keep up his Zarya. Looks like we're gonna see an Earth Shatter from Zappa and the battlefield. Grab that went seemingly to his own teammates. Harem telling his team to catch that one.
Grab was a little unnecessary, especially when it's only catching your friends.
Yeah.
They were able to hold. That was impressive. It looked like they were going to fall to pieces right at the end there, but Juman with an excellent trance to help get Harem, who was pushed off over to the Mega on the right side of point.
Definitely a nice mail too, but maybe that might have been a little too costly. A Pyrrhic victory for.
Watch out for this wall. This wall will be big.
Wacky cut down. Looks like he's going to try to take out Zappa. Both Rhymes are low. Wacky in a tough spot. Earth Shatter, 3 people. I don't think anyone's going to be able to finish it off here, but definitely bought them time for Reinhardt and Reaper to fall.
Now their team is split though. Dano and Sliced Bread are off on point essentially. The rest of the team's backed off, regrouping.
Looks like miscommunication between Dano and Sliced Bread there. Sliced Bread going to point, Dano getting out. Definitely not getting out far enough though, because Heron's going to take him out with help from a Discord.
Another massive stagger. They only have a minute left by the time he gets back.
Definitely looking at Grav, Nano Blade, and most likely Baptiste ult's going to build toward the end of this fight, maybe during the middle of it. And
Harem, however, almost has double support ults, and they should get the Torb and May ult at the end of this fight. So pretty even.
Wacky swinging on high ground with the builds on
Another May wall.
Gonna pin the Zarya. Zarya's getting dangerously low. Zappa taken out. Bapwall dangerous. Wacky staying alive. And pretty rough.
Committed the wall there.
They grabbed their own wall.
Again, friend.
Definitely
Friends not food.
Doing their Zarya and their wall. But Big Brain Ethos has a grab of their own. Slice Bread's gonna fall off high ground. Everyone else is Earth Shattered. Turball coming out. Can BSRK save it? No, he can't. Transcendence is gonna prevent him from doing so. And Slice Bread's got grab on point by himself. Brian falls. It's just Slice Bread. Can he make a turnaround? He kills the main tank, but no, I mean Zenyatta, but it's not gonna be enough.
And himself.
Oh yeah, he took himself out too. Gotta keep that kill streak going.
He's almost at a UAV the problem. Main tank is pretty good, but not when you're all by yourself on point. Not enough.
Switching sides.
Aaron commentating on his
crying in chat.
Yes, and Gluba with the expected F in the chat. Gluba, my favorite toxic personality. I mean, friend.
That's what we call those now, didn't you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm never too good at that type of stuff. Anyway, speaking of something I am personally not good at.
You're pretty good at being toxic, don't worry. I never had a doubt for 1 second.
Ready for battle.
Now, what do you think Big Brain Ethos is gonna hope to do on defense here? They got a Pharah now, surprisingly.
Yeah. They're looking just to wall off the Rhine when he comes in, Wacky. And just, that's usually the base game plan on Hanamura. Wall off the main tank. No, Big Brain Ethos are attacking. Ah, I see.
All systems
Yes,
Wait.
as you can see.
ready for combat
No, Big Brain Ethos are.
I said the wrong name. It's fine, it's fine. HAREM are attacking.
Yes.
And they're definitely going to be looking for a Mei wall
5,
to block off Ryan from having any sightlines to help protect Wacky.
1.
Mm-hmm.
Attackers incoming. Defend
I
objective
think
A.
Heron's Harem is going to look to maybe grab an enemy for the first time. And their third grab's the charm, though. Of
Yeah,
course, on
third
that.
time's a charm.
Almost a
Is there
mere
spamming
top
there?
here.
A lot of damage, and Wacky falls over.
Falls over to the fire strike. BSRK getting shot in the face with an icicle. They definitely have a Mei to take out this Pharah, but other than that, I mean, I guess. Okay, yeah, I guess Anos gets good. And a good fire
Farah's
strike.
really tough here because she has a lot of area to help herself with coverage, and she's able to do a lot of damage right here and boot people forward like we just saw. Almost caught Heron out. Would have been disastrous. However,
Meant for looking dangerously low. Caught off by BSRK.
wow, they had to use wall. This is a good opportunity. They should be able to get Zappa here. Zappa is their target. Can they get him? No, they got a lucky pin on Brian. But that's disastrous. They don't have a shield anymore.
And with that, Heron's going to fall, but both teams are looking at tank ult here in this next fight. Almost even on Earthshedder charge and Graviton Surge charge. As well as a barrage coming in from BSRK on the side of the defense. Big Brain Ethos looking pretty good right now.
Barriers on you.
Cthulhu is tired with his mail, so we'll see that in this next fight.
They're going to lose Gluba immediately. Zappa hit nobody with Shatter, but are going to charge in. Looks like Heron's Harem is in a tough spot here. Maybe just going to reset.
Yeah, they definitely need to reset here. It looks like Heron's gonna reset. Finally.
Old man.
Main tank taking out the Mei. Always good value. Got to build your Transcendence somehow.
Yeah.
Difference
Yeah,
is Zappa's.
this choke is very difficult for
Greetings.
Heron's Harem right now.
Definitely say, especially without a Lucio to help you just speed the choke and get through choke quickly. You're having rockets rain on down you. It's a super tough position, especially for the back line, to worry about the front line and worrying about the rockets in the sky.
Lucio swap would be helpful.
First shatter from Wacky, gonna pick up two
Grab is
people.
also helpful.
Aaron hit people on the enemy team with the grab first time and second grab, or first time and 3 grabs. But BSRK is gonna pick up 3 people in the back line. Will it be enough, however? Here's
And two-man got picked before he could use trans, so looks like this fight is over.
I'm
the fight is over since he said they're gonna take the point. Cthulhu has Mei ult, and we still have Transcendence on the side of Jumanfo.
Yeah,
Looks
I
like
would like to
Heron's
see a
Harem.
trans rush right here.
Yeah, definitely.
And then they need to get massive value out of their mail in order to get this. But they will have to be careful of Zappa's shatter.
60 seconds.
Oh, and only 60 seconds remaining. Looking like it's going to be a pretty tough choke. Not going to catch anything with that Mei wall. Both Mei walls out, stalling for time. Wacky's cut off.
Needs help.
Mei ult, however, looks like it's going to cut off nobody as Zappa's able to escape. Mei is unfortunately not. Brian is unfortunately going to fall. BSRK getting dangerously low. He will fall as well.
Superwood just sitting, poking. He should get focused down by Juman, who's directly under him, but
30 seconds.
Slice Spread
notice
falls.
them.
Cerberus, the only one left. Big Brain Ethos as he falls. And they're going to take the point. Wow. And almost in overtime. In the last 60 seconds, they flipped that one. And it looks like they're
only
going to
have
have...
3 minutes to get back though. To get
Yeah.
after half of a second.
They have Graviton Surge, Nano Boost, and a Deadeye here. Hoping probably to pick off...
They would like to pick off Brian because
Yes.
they should know he has mail, and that would be massive. They would deny people from following up on the grab.
The grab's huge right here, and Dano's not going to
It
get
is,
caught
but no
anymore. He's going to be able
follow-up.
to get that point. Should be able to finish off Nano. Deadeye kills Cerbird. Reaper's Nano BSRK. It's going to tear through. Backy looking low. Controlling the point very well. Looks like Jumanfo and the McCree and Joe are off on the side here. Maybe they're trying to build ults. Just trying to reset. And wow, Heron's Harem falls. They still have 2.5 minutes, however, on the clock still. So they
That-
could turn this around.
Parts of that were very well played by Big Brain Ethos, and other parts of it, like the grab from Harem, were an issue because no one could follow up on his grab. It was too far away. I would have liked to see them rush into that hall there and then just grab on the floor and to bait out the male. And then after that, they could move to the point.
Neil's not going to catch out Wacky. Cthulhu's Tracer. Wacky picks him forward with an Earth Shatter. And they're anti. Transcendence is going to help them do that. Jumanforce going to pick up 2. Cthulhu falls on the Tracer. And will Heron's Harem push to the point? Heron, however, is on point. His Harem is probably close behind him.
Might get picked out.
Might get picked up by Sliced Bread. Heron's alone by himself. Nazari's at full charge on the bottom. Wacky's put off by himself. Gluba and Juman caught off on the side. Gluba
Like just resetting.
unable to 1v6.
Yep. We expected the 1v6, but we didn't get it.
We
Disappointing.
didn't get it, yeah. Definitely a tough 1v6 to handle, especially with all those shields in the way. All those pesky enemy players at health. It's really hard to get terrorized to do that, but it looks like we're going to see a reset from Heron's Harem,
60
who
seconds.
have Transcendence, and they're looking like they're going to go into only a Death Blossom and a Earth Shatter at the beginning of the fight, potentially. Ryan will build May ult by the end of this fight, however. They need to watch out for that.
I would like to see them push through here just to set their soldier up on this high ground with the Zen.
It looks like Wacky's going to fall before the fight can even properly start. Cthulhu's going to go with him. And it looks
They need
like
to back up and wait for a regroup.
that's the best chance of having a actual fight here on last. 30 seconds, a deceptively long amount of time for them in the touch point. I see no issue with them getting there unless they get walled off or something.
Yeah, I would like to see them still push up this top right. But no, they'll go main just to make sure they touch.
Definitely a good idea.
And they got walled off again though.
Walled off.
But it was a big block.
BSRK's Death Blossom picks up Luba. It's like Soldier's frozen. Jumanfor's gonna pick up 1. Cthulhu's gonna pick up 1. Pulse Bomb stuck to Zappa, it's not gonna kill him. Heron and Cthulhu on point doing work. Wacky's coming up behind him. They don't have healers, but they could make this happen, especially now the Transcendence is out. But Wacky's getting overwhelmed. Cthulhu's the only one on point at the moment. Gluba coming in on Lucio. Will he make anything happen? He won't. Graviton Surge in the middle of the point. Cthulhu looking rough. Joe's the only one to make it back. And Tactifizer can't kill anybody when he's dead. Looks like Big Brain Ethos wins Hanamura. Going on to our 3rd map of the series.
Yeah, that was that's very interesting. I think Heron's Harem just had issues on knowing what they needed to do and where they needed to go. Yeah.
I definitely say trying to push that high ground is super rough. Trying to push into a May.
Yes, it
Walls,
really is.
slowing, even the slow, not even the freeze can be disruptive, incredibly
Maybe if
disruptive.
they had a
for tanks.
Lucio, they could help speed past the wall, or they could even try and bait it. But yeah, overall, I think they could have played that a little better. But it was very much on Big Brain Ethos for knowing what to do and what else to use when they needed.
But the amount of Earth Shatters that Wacky's hitting, he's hitting a bunch of people with these Shatters. Heron's hitting a bunch of people with these grabs, and they're just not able to capitalize on it. Maybe it's because of the Maywall separating their team, their front and their back line.
I think there's a big
Get off Lucio.
communication issue between Wacky and the rest of his team, because Wacky always seems to be so much farther than his team because he wants to play more aggressive, and the rest of his team seems to fall back. I think a Lucio would help with that, just because that way they could speed anyone who gets slowed down to stay with Wacky to give him the support he needs, because he is making these big plays, but no one's close enough to follow up on them. So Heron's Harem need to try and fix that for this next match.
I was gonna say, especially with Wrecking Ball and Mercy out of the meta, it's very hard to contest a 2 CP map once your team is losing on defense. Those two characters make a lot of value off of just switching to and playing those characters. Mercy with Rise, Wrecking Ball with his entire existence. It's definitely really rough to stop an attacking team from gaining all that momentum. But if you stop them from gaining that momentum in the first place, you don't need to worry about that late game like tie breaking and stalling on point. I definitely say Heron's Harem definitely did not do a good enough job on that.
I would be very interested to see Heron's Harem switch to more of a Winston Diva style composition because I think that would suit their damage dealers more because it looks like they're wanting to switch to the soldier and the tracer, which the
Hmm.
Winston Diva would help a lot more creating chaos in Big Brain Ethos, and it would just be it'd be another like factor they would have to try and to deal with. And Heron Chan would then ask the question, can you deal with this or can you not? And I I'm not so sure if Big Brain Ethos could deal with a more chaotic composition.
Definitely, the Mei wall loses a lot of value on tanks that can't get caught off by it. Winston and Diva are two,
Now arriving
especially.
at
They only need to worry
Lijiang
about Mei
Tower.
freeze, and seeing that get nerfed recently is going to be pretty rough. But
Initiating
we won't know until we
breach.
see what happens here on Lijiang Tower. Gonna look at Garden. Garden's a nice boop map. Unfortunately, Wrecking Ball is banned
It's
this week, so I'm
also a
not gonna
really
say
good
that.
map for Farah. So
Mhm.
that I'm this map I'm hoping they play Farah on. And they try
Cthulhu.
it would be awesome if they played a more split composition because it looks like just the playing as a team they're not as Big Brain Ethos isn't as
Ready
no
for
Aaron
battle.
Tarum isn't as put together as Big Brain Ethos are. So I would like to see them play more of a split competition.
I definitely say both teams have Pharah players with VSRK and Cthulhu, both showing us that they can play Pharah earlier in the series. It's going to look like Cthulhu's the only one who's going to take the Pharah. And I wasn't paying attention, unfortunately, if Gluba made both baskets, but apparently he made both baskets, so I personally would be worried if I was on Big Brain Ethos. That
Yeah.
definitely gives him and his entire team practically a semi-nano boost, in my opinion. He's all
Yep.
pumped up, ready to go. As you
Yeah,
know,
I definitely have to say that would fix any mental booms that would be happening on Aaron Tarum.
Maywall coming out first. A big spot. Zappa is going to try to counterpin him for it. So it's kind of a poke battle between both teams. Farrah's going to pick up Berserk and take him down. And wow, looks like Aaron's going to let him cap the point.
Yeah, Farrah's really good on this map because she can fly above and avoid damage and can rain it all into point.
Nano boosted Reinhardt trying to swing, gonna find a big Earth Shatter onto the point. Aaron's gonna clean up the Mei. Wacky's gonna try to pick off Zappa, but it won't be enough. And Aaron looking to swing the fight their way. Heron falls down, however. And wow, well, with only 4 people remaining on Heron's Harem, it's gonna be pretty rough to do so. Spread pushing pretty far, trying to find the Zenyatta. Looks like he's found him, forcing him off the map.
Yeah,
Take a polar plunge, and there he
I
goes.
definitely think it would be more in the interest to have a Lucio rather than the Zen Juman is on, because if they had a Lucio, Wacky could have got back and avoided all of the damage rather than sitting there and taking it. But it looks like Juman only plays the Zen and maybe an Ana.
It's very interesting because now with Big Brain Ethos running a Lucio of their own, they can just walk right at Wacky.
Yeah, they could even do a beat engage.
What a nice massive boot. Surfbird taking off Heron. Nice Earth Shatter from Zappa. Nano Boost and Reinhardt's gonna pin him and kill him, however. And maybe we're gonna see a play here from Cthulhu, but it won't be enough. Wacky and Gluba hopefully trying to reset here.
Dano already has another Coalescence. Gets him every fight because Cthulhu's raining in the damage. Cthulhu's just switched to Doom, so although Dano got the Coalescence very fast, he won't have another chance to do that.
Looks like Drop's gonna swamp and keep Brain Ethos alive. Transcendence is gonna keep up Heron's Harem with only 3 people there though, and the Zen
This is
walled
an
off.
issue.
Will they be able to push it?
Last fight, they might not even be able to touch. I don't think they're even able to touch point.
Cthulhu touches
Oh,
point,
Cthulhu
however.
does.
Cthulhu's got that incredible mobility, but that Mei ult is gonna keep Heron off point. And it's gonna go to Big Brain Ethos, the first map of Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, that's. I definitely think it's an issue when teams decide that they want to play 2 different styles simultaneously. So you have the Pharah, the heavy poke style, where you go around the point and you try and just wear out the Moira damage. but then they also wanted to run into the point with their death ball, and it made it so that they didn't have enough support in either of them for them to really work.
Glua making another 2 baskets. Hopefully hopefully this ego boost is
Turns
gonna
it around.
take him into that 3rd round. You'll love to see it.
BSRK is on the sim, so it will look like a sim TP to point strat, and Brian's playing the Mei, so they might try and catch Wacky off with the Mei. So
We'll see
Big
what
Mei
happens here.
team definitely has an advantage in composition.
We got Cthulhu on the Doomfist. He's gonna punch in. Brian's gonna get super low and have to Wraith form out. Cthulhu's playing patient with Doom. Almost kills Zappa with a rocket punch in the face. Going all in. No punch to get out. Stays alive. Zappa's asleep. Glua's putting him down for a nap. But Big Brain Ethos is controlling point better than Heron's Harem. Speaking of which, Heron's on point, gonna separate himself from his team. Pretty rough over there with BSRK alone. Wacky without a Heron or without a Zarya to give him a bubble. Gonna struggle here. Earth Shatters into the shield. Beat drop from Surbird prevents any follow-up from happening, and Wacky charges in. Hopefully, and Aaron dying. Around with a big punch. Punches the Zarya into the wall, but it's not gonna be enough to kill her.
Looks like it's
And
just.
Heron's gotta back up, gotta regroup.
I would have liked to see Juman put out his sound barrier because he got it just after Surbird did. So if they would have been able to beat just a hair later, it would give them an advantage because it would stay longer with them. I also would have liked to see Cthulhu and Wacky put together.
Nice big grab. Juman's got the beat drop to respond to it. Zappa finds Shatter. Meteor Strike coming in, gotta kill 2.
Big.
You'll love to see it. Dano picked off by Cthulhu. Rocket punch on the wall.
So, he might not have worked well with Wacky, but he did pretty good with Heron. Big grab comes.
Big grab, a nice Meteor Strike and follow up from Cthulhu. Gonna clean that one up. And we're looking at the side of Heron's Harem. Very low on ultimates, with only Nano Boost and Deadeye here coming into a Mei ult potentially and a
Coalescence
for the attackers.
that'll put a lot of pressure on them. Luckily, they hit a massive sleep and picked off Surbird.
Punch into the wall. Mei dies during her all. Still gets it out. Slice Bread and BSRK are pushing. He's trying to turn this around to the side with a slam. Superman gonna take up BSRK. And Heron's Heron holds the point. They use Nano Boost during that fight. Wacky getting another Earth Shatter with Zap and Slice Bread not even close to their ults on the sides of Big Brain Ethos. Maybe we're gonna see Earth Shatter just win this next fight for Heron's Harem. I'm expecting a practically team wipe if both beat drops don't come out at the same time. It's the Coalescence here.
Massive. Let's see,
Earth Shattered. Wacky's gonna get frozen. He's in a bad spot, but a nice grab by Heron. Picks up 3. Both tanks are in the grab. Meteor Strike coming in on Brian, gonna slam down onto the Mei. Zappa's looking to get finished off, and Dano and BSRK are hoping to spawn. Cthulhu making mad work happen on this team.
yeah, he's doing much better on the Doomfist than he was the Pharaoh. There's not much, like, there's no one who can really contest him well on the side of Big Brain Ethos because they have Brian, who'd have to hit some ridiculous icicles, and they have BSRK.
Zappa gonna pin Wacky. Wacky's gonna fall immediately at the beginning of this fight. That sound barrier wasn't fast enough to keep him alive. BSRK brings people up point. Cthulhu unable to do any work. Dies on the point. That was a super quick retake by Big Brain Ethos. Going for hopefully getting out alive. And Heron's Harem has ultimates to turn this one around, but Zappa and Sliced Bread, Big Brain Ethos has both of their tank ults coming up. They could potentially stall this all the way to 99.
Yeah, Juman's almost to his sound barrier, and Glua has his nano. So they might be able to weather the 2 tank ults on the side of Big Brain.
Big slam, pinning Wacky, who's now frozen. Cthulhu trying to make some work happen on the rocket punch. But they're all stuck in grab. Nice Earth Shatter stops that from happening, and a Deadeye, but blocked by Maywall. Doomfist going in, trying to get some value with Meteor Strike coming down. Looks like he's trying to land it on BSRK. BSRK's half gets killed by Cthulhu. And Heron's Harem looking to retake the point pretty dangerously. Punch to the wall. Surbird cannot stop the point from being flipped. And it looks like we're going to go to map 3 for Lijiang Tower. Man,
They're
these
finally
Cthulhu-
coming alive in this last map.
Score.
Definitely, I definitely say Big Brain Ethos and Heron's Harem have both,
Ready.
I guess, structured their Ryan Zarya combo. They both seem to be on point and potentially making 6 for 6 on the basketballs. Man, the 6th basketball coming in. I wonder if this is the motivation to turn Heron's Harem into the winning team here.
Well, we know Gluba's looking for the big plays now that he's hyped himself up with the giant basketball.
5,
Yeah, these basketball plays are insane.
2,
Almost as equal to Cthulhu and Gluba's plays on the real battlefield. Let me see here first. Last time we saw Doomfist on Leisure and Cover, we were pretty disappointed, but I believe Cthulhu is going to make a lot of work happen now that he's fighting with a Reaper. The Wacky's going to get caught off here. Looks like it's going to be pretty rough. Going to get Meat Grinder down, but Brian falls to the Doomfist, and Doomfist falls back to the Reaper. Heron's Harem looking pretty rough for this first fight, but they're just looking to build ult charge probably. They're going to just build as much before they can, take their losses.
Yeah, I would have liked when they were retreating there from Heron's Harem to retreat back towards their spawn. That way they could poke and continually build ult charge as well as not die. Now they got died, because now they died and Gluba got staggered.
Gluba's finally back with his team. And heal up Wacky. He slept the enemy Reinhardt, but unfortunately he already got woken up. And that time was interrupted. Look at that ult from Zappa. Zappa's got a burst out of his own. Not gonna get rock punched or stunned out of it. They don't need nice shatter from Wacky. Hits 5 people. But will it be enough? Zappa responds with his own Earth Shatter. And Nano Boost to Wacky coming in, swinging on point. Kill Brian. Heron's gonna get a grab, gonna hit 2 people. Surbird's gonna beat drop to save Slice Bread, but was that the correct play? Now he doesn't have beat drop or any other ults. Wacky has another Earth Shatter by the time this fight is over.
I do want to comment though that a large amount of following up on Wacky is from Heron, who's always playing these ridiculous flank angles almost on his Zarya. He just burns through the backline when they get shattered. He had a massive grab as well.
So that grab's gonna pick up nobody because Wacky makes amazing space with an Earth Shatter. A little slow to react to that one, but it's like Big Brain Ethos gonna once again have to reset. Surfbird punch into a wall again. We've seen a lot of work happen between Cthulhu and the Grabs last map. Maybe we'll be seeing something similar from Big Brain Ethos between their between their Zarya and their DPS. They have Mayalt here as well as Death Blossom. Maybe we're gonna see that combo because Heron's Harem doesn't have defense fault. That's gonna be dangerous from that.
Zappa was split from his game.
Wacky's gonna swing on point. Looks like he's gonna get frozen. BSRK gets punched out of his ultimate. And Heron's Harem tearing through. Cthulhu finding a 3rd kill. 2-man 4. He's finding a 4th kill. Punches that man into the wall. Zappa dangerously low. Surbird healthy enough to heal him. I've seen 4K to kill everybody.
Yeah, I was very impressed in that fight, not only with Cthulhu, but Gluba. Because he actually gave up on pocketing Wacky just so that he could allow Cthulhu to pop off there.
Definitely sometimes you gotta just take those losses. As a healer, you gotta
But it
decide
was
who
a very heads-up play.
Coming up on last fight here with Grab and Meteor Strike. Surbird has beat drop, however. It's not gonna be enough to save his May.
BSRK had a nicely timed flank. Able to take out
right through. BSRK gonna sneak up on the 2 support, gonna take them out. Wacky and Heron are on the point by themselves, and with no angles of flank, but Heron's gonna fall too. Big Brain Ethos flips the point.
He was able to make a nicely timed flank that allowed him to take out Joe, and then he caused the attention to be focused away from the front line, where they then lost that battle.
It's like Wacky and Cthulhu are trying to make space for their team. Cthulhu's gonna uppercut. Sliced bread out of the way. You have Grab online for Big Brain Ethos. Heron going on another flank. Pretty close to his Reinhardt this time. Slice bread getting dangerously low. No bubbles for him. So both tank ults coming out. First shadow from Zappa gets nobody. Deadeye from Joe is going to take out 2. Graviton Surge keeps people off point. Blue and G-Man both supports are by themselves. Cthulhu, however, making a lot of work happen with Joe's double kill. Looks like Heron's Harem flipless. This arcade taken out. Doesn't look like anybody on Big Brain Ethos can be able to touch. Zeppa won't make it. Brian can't touch, and that's the game. Heron's Harem takes map 3 and the overall series win.
Yeah, they looked almost like a different team from the first 2 maps.
Play of the
They
game.
Definitely,
Heron
I'd say.
did very well on this map.
So Heron just finding all of these grabs on Surge. He had a little bit of a rough start earlier, but man, these grabs and the tracking on Heron's behalf, as well as the support to keep him alive through it all, man, completely different team taking that win for the series victory.
So it's done.
Wacky proving himself to not be a ball one trick. Pop it off on the Reinhardt. Excellent work by both teams. An amazing game.
Yeah. Although Heron's prediction of their 3-0 was still a little off. Unfortunate.
All right, and that's going to end the broadcast for this week in Baddy Overwatch League. My name's XD Regman,
And I'm K4.
and we'll see you next week.